You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, this year the big game is not just for football fans. It's time to go all in on food. Tums and DraftKings have teamed up to create a free-to-play pool so you can get in on the action and keep on snacking. There's a share of $10,000 up for grabs. To take home the cheddar, just make the right picks about America's game day grub. Play free in the Tums Prop Bites pool on DraftKings to score big without the burn. Learn more at TumsPropBites.com. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DiGiorno. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
You know how when I come in here dressed as Elvis or the Mad Hatter and then get dispirited or hurt because everyone says, Dan, that's a good look for you. You should try that. It's better than your actual look. Roy, I'm not kidding you when I tell you that this look from the Bear for you is better than your other look. Like, this is, you look better, you look better this way than you do every other day.
Yes, Chef.
I don't think anybody here would disagree with me.
Roy is getting that Jeremy Allen White sort of like aura of he's a working man and is sexy.
This dude, man, he's on every single bus stop billboard in New York City wearing only the skimpiest of underwear.
He's very small, too. He's not an actually large man, but that's the six-pack. The six-pack is showing that off. Roy, this is what I imagined you looked like when you worked on the loading dock.
Yes.
Yes, Chef.
I've gotten a text here from Stugotz. Half of our team is out there. Charlotte was supposed to be here with us today. I hope she gets better. She got the COVID. Pablo Torre is here.
HIPAA violation much?
HIPAA.
Amin,
just say she's under the weather.
Amin is here. Thank you for gracefully holding my hand during that instead of pointing it out to everybody. A text from Stugotz here from Radio Row yesterday to tell everyone that he's deeply embedded. This is yesterday, a Sunday. Dan, I have the entire place wired. Espresso shots with the security team today on me. Pictures with producers and engineers who were setting up today, telling them that their hosts don't know or appreciate what it is they do. I have an army of people willing to do more for me than their own hosts and shows. That's why you get a lay of the land, Levitz. Tomorrow is all about laying down the foundation. Tuesday and Wednesday, moving and shaking with tons of finger guns and nods and no blinking. Thursday is a dig deep, finish strong Thursday. I could teach a course on how to do Radio Row. Tony, are you jealous that Stugotz is already there?
I'm very jealous. I'd like to get the lay of the land, too, because when I was there in L.A., there's a lot of moving and shaking happening early, too, and that's why Stu's there to lay the foundation. You got to know the right people. You're getting in the ground floor with the workers, with the producers. Those kind of people, they're the salt of the earth that make things happen.
Roy is so Apple averse that he brought a laptop in, and it's like a ThinkPad. This is like a heavy duty thing, and with his general aesthetic, it goes hand in hand because he's frustrated trying to make this desktop computer work. It's great. He looks like Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park.
Yes, Chef. It is a ThinkPad.
Roy, what do you have to report from your visit as a correspondent to Toronto and the NHL All-Star Game? What is the content that we're going to have around here?
Yes, Chef. There is a video that we are going to play back later in the show. It's about us going around town in Toronto. It was a beautiful city, spectacular food, and we had drinks. And my dry January definitely
nothing about sports, nothing about the All-Star Game, just go. All right, so you enjoyed the city and you ate and you drank.
We did post-game shows on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So there's that. And you can find that on YouTube.
Now, the cigarette in the ear is a really good look. Generally, people don't have a lit cigarette in the ear.
Yes, Chef.
I know that's a fake cigarette, but it has a light inside of it that has it orange, so it would give the appearance that it's a lit cigarette that's just hanging from your ear.
Yes, Chef. I didn't actually look at the cigarettes. I just put it in the on the air, just like LeBron James in that meme on Twitter.
We are going to talk about the Super Bowl and our Super Bowl coverage. We are headed out, the rest of us, on Tuesday, tomorrow. And we will tell you about the guest list that is so far confirmed because we're excited about how funny and wonderful that is. But before we do so, when we went off the air yesterday, I don't know how often this happens to you, Pablo, where you get a celebrity death that sort of hits you a little extra hard because it ties into whatever it is that your nostalgia was in childhood about somebody. And Carl Weathers, who passed away last week at the age of 76, felt like he had that kind of impact on a lot of people across a lot of different roles.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I think one generation might know him as Apollo Creed, but another generation might know him as Chubbs, right?
Oh, and Arrested Development and The Mandalorian. Like, he, as a person with good polling numbers, Carl Weathers universally was beloved. I think he's just one of those guys who feels like you have a. I mean, you guys interviewed him on the show. He was down to laugh at himself and also to be exactly the archetype of like tough guy when it was needed.
An amazing talent. When you think about it, this guy was an NFL player. He was a football player, played in the CFL and the NFL, and then made himself into not only an action star, but an actual actor with chops, with range, with a variety of roles, as you pointed out. And the thing that I take away from, we could do a whole show on Carl Weathers, and we might. Stay tuned. But I saw him at Star Wars Celebration, which is like the Comic-Con for Star Wars, when they first announced The Mandalorian, right? And this is the most insular crowd. When you talk about like people who are fiercely aligned with the brand of the content, Star Wars is probably peak. And they all come out. Pedro Pascal comes out, and Gina Carano comes out, and all these other actors and people of note. They've done things in other places. This isn't their first time at the rodeo. They come out and say, "What a great honor it is to be here at Star Wars Celebration and be a part of Star Wars and all that." And then Carl Weathers comes out, and he's regal when he comes out on the stage, and he takes a moment to acknowledge the crowd, and the crowd roars, and he gets the microphone and he said, "I wasn't really a Star Wars guy," which, for that crowd, that's it. They check out on you. But he says, "But then I fell in love with this role and this story, and I can't wait for you guys to get a chance to experience this." He sold the show so hard, no one had even seen a second of it. We didn't know what it was about. He sold it in that second right there, and the audience was eating out the palm of his hand. And I sat there, Dan, and I said, that's a pro. Like, Pedro Pascal's a great actor. He's not on the pro level as Carl Weathers.
It's a gift to be somebody who projects a certain seriousness, a gravitas, while also not taking themselves seriously. Mm-hmm. So part of the bit in Arrested Development, which I go to immediately, is that he is Tobias's acting teacher.
Yep.
Who is the cheapest man alive?
Ooh, he's borderline homeless.
Right. So he's
destitute.
And so he's like making stews out of leftovers. He's always carrying stuff out of other events, like he's stealing the food. And what I read over the weekend as I was reliving Carl Weathers' greatest hits is that he is the one who came up with that character premise.
Yeah.
Of like
it wasn't written cheap, right?
No, it was me, Carl Weathers, actor who you know. I'm going to be a basically effectively unhoused acting teacher, making fun of myself while also being almost Shakespearean in a way, which is that thing of laugh at yourself while also being fully confident in who you are is the best.
I think one of the things that is super hard to achieve anywhere in celebrity, especially as people get more and more upset by the politics of Hollywood and celebrities, is it's just hard to find likable. Somebody who lands all the time. The skill of likability it is not polarizing, that it feels extra hard when someone like that is lost, because we're so divided now that you crave people who are likable, who aren't polarizing.
The thing that got me, first of all, you're absolutely right, because there's a natural likability, which I think Carl Weathers had, but his was also polished. This student figured out, okay, I'm likable, but how do I sharpen this? And he did it at an incredible level. But the thing that really, I don't know if anyone else felt this. On the one hand, I'm happy that he passed peacefully in his sleep. I'm happy that that's how we all want to go, right? On the other hand, I was staggered that Carl Weathers, this man full of energy and life and strength, that's how, like, when I heard Carl Weathers pass away, I said, oh no, was it a car accident?
Was he in a swamp being hunted by perhaps alien assassin?
Was it a Soviet boxer who would not stop fighting after the bell was rung and the ref tried to get in the way?
Or Craig T. Nelson.
Or was it Craig? Well, no, Craig T. Nelson couldn't take him out.
No.
Shout out to Action Jackson. But to hear that he passed away in his sleep, I was like, wait, was there a disease that we didn't know? Like, nope, just passed away in his sleep. I just saw him in the Gronk ad for the Kick of Destiny. And I'm like, no, he looks fine. What are you talking about?
Well, not just fine. Looks fit.
Powerful.
Looks youthful.
Energy, yeah.
Let's play the video of Sylvester Stallone, obviously linked to Apollo Creed and Carl Weathers forever.
Hello, everyone. Today is an incredibly sad day for me. I mean, I'm so torn up, I can't even tell you. I'm just trying to hold it in because Carl Weathers was such an integral part of my life, my success, everything about it. I give him incredible credit and kudos because when he walked into that room and I saw him for the first time, I saw greatness, but I didn't realize how great. I never could have accomplished what we did with Rocky without him. He was absolutely brilliant. His voice, his size, his power, his athletic ability, but more importantly, his heart, his soul. It's a horrible loss.
That is the role that I will associate him with. Do you guys have any other role that you choose above that one? Because that was so, I think that might have been the first sports movie of any kind that I saw. Because it was 1976 would have been Rocky. And I don't think I had seen before that anything that looked like that on film.
No, it set the archetype that he then played to perfection in various other movies, but then he subverted. And so I go back to that one also as my introduction to him, but also as like, this is the thing that he played off of to surprise you and delight you when he had this softness inside of him.
He's got 3 tremendous roles that were integrated within the fiber of pop culture at the time, be it Dylan from Predator and the handshake that has become a meme forevermore. Apollo Creed is his role, and he owned it, and you can't imagine anybody else playing it, and you can't imagine that movie or franchise working without his involvement. And Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore is another iconic role. He's got 3 all-timers.
Speaking of likability, we talked to him once, and he disarmed us immediately with what it is you guys are talking about, which is not taking himself terribly seriously. So when we asked him for resume and accolades, we were surprised by his answer. Have you ever had a greater honor anywhere in your personal life or professional life, any honor in your life, all 69 of your years on Earth, than being inducted into the International Mustache Hall of Fame?
No, there's no bigger honor.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys with stashes know there's no bigger honor.
Who are your rivals? Like, who are your fellow Hall of Famers where you look at it and you say, yes, it is you are worthy of being near my glorious mustache?
Oh, are you kidding me? Charlie Bronson, man. Look back at Charlie's little wispy, crazy-looking mustache. Charlie Wardwell. I loved him. Got a chance to work with him. A great guy, man. Charles Bronson was, there's a man's man.
Who are your? I'm going to offer you some here. Tom Selleck, first ballot Hall of Famer on the mustache. Yes or no? According to Hall of Famer Carl Weathers. Yes or no?
First ballot, without a doubt.
Raleigh Fingers, first ballot. Yes or no? Yes or
Raleigh Fingers, my God, going back to the old twisted handlebar, you got to put him in.
All right, all right. Who else are some mustache Hall of Famers? Charlie Chaplin. Who else? Charlie Chaplin. Yes or no?
Oh yeah. Charlie Chaplin had, he had that little thing that reminded you of who's mustache, right?
Ned Flanders. Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. Yes or no? Ned Flanders.
That's a shaky one.
Okay, that's fine. Rejected by the Hall of Famer. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Hulk Hogan.
Well, that's a crazy mustache there. That thing goes on forever. You got to throw him in there.
All right. Goose Gossage, yes or no? Goose Gossage.
Yes, I'll go with that.
Hall of Fame. Dave Wanstead.
Yeah.
Dave Wanstache. Yes or no? Dave Wanstache. All right. Okay. Burt Reynolds. Yes or no? Burt Reynolds.
Oh, come on, man. Burt was like the original, so he's got to be in.
All right. Geraldo Rivera. Yes or no? Geraldo Rivera.
That mustache is so off the wall, you just got to put him in there because of that.
Sam Elliott. Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely. Completely.
Wow. You are a generous Hall of Famer. Is there any? We wasted 2 minutes of that man's
I would have
time.
listened to 40 more minutes of him just responding to mustache props.
You know, when you have a guest who gets the show who has never listened to the show, that's always the best, isn't it? Like this guy, he doesn't know what we do here. He's like, oh, some ESPN sports show wanted to interview me. Sure, why not?
But this is what we talk about when we talk about likability. I don't know how you measure these things, but I know that whenever the famous people come on with us and they just sound like they want to be there, which doesn't always happen. They just sound like this is the place where they want to be, even if they don't know us. That buys them a ton.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Folks, imagine a person who values their relationship with someone deeply. They might have encountered challenges in communication, understanding, or differing perspectives over time. A common misconception about relationships is that they have to be easy to be right. But sometimes the best ones happen when both people put in the work to make them great. Therapy can be the place to work through the challenges you face in all your relationships, whether it's with friends, work, or your significant other, or just anyone in your life. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with licensed therapists and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. It's important to note that every relationship is unique and the strategies employed may vary based on the individuals involved. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by Bayer Aspirin, the official sponsor of Fans' Hearts.
Mike, I want to ask you, as we've got a fractured group and we're going to be doing this differently this week, what do you want to tell the audience? Because we have guest list planned, and we have this what we're doing this week has been planned for months. It is not a small undertaking. We are taking almost the entire company out to Las Vegas. Half of it is already there. What can we tell people, and what do we want to keep quiet?
Well, I don't think we want to keep anything quiet. It's usually in the show's nature to have some surprises along the way, but look, this is a big investment for the company, and the idea here is audience acquisition and growth, and we want to make Stadium Swim at Circa Hotel an absolute scene, and the RSVP situation is encouraging for an absolute scene. Naturally, more people are going to the Friday show. I want to talk a little bit about Thursday and give you a reason to show up, because the guest list on Thursday is incredible. I'm not going to give away the person that's going to kick off all the ceremonies, but our featured guest list for Thursday at Stadium Swim at Circa Hotel is Wu-Tang Clan.
What?
And Wayne Newton. That's right.
We're
bringing back the old dirty bastard.
There it is.
And also
and Wu-Tang Clan. I think presently we're about at 24 of the 36 chambers, but when you include the old dirty bastard, we're at 28.
I'm not going to be there, so I only have one request for you guys. I need you guys to get Wayne Newton to say, shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away.
That's a great idea, Amin. We're going to try everything that we can, and the photo ops are going to be incredible out there. We're producing a live stage show, and this should be really fun for those in attendance. It's a mini Las Vegas. There's going to be plenty of stuff going on in the crowd, and the layout for Stadium Swim is incredible. So there's still plenty of time. I'm talking to Chiefs Kingdom and 49er Faithful here. If you want to rep your team, come out to this really cool event, Stadium Swim at Circa Hotel, February 8th and 9th. Things get going at 10 a.m. Line up early. It doesn't have to be a ridiculous amount of early. I've seen Caitlin Clark type cues being talked about on the internet. Everyone will have a spot over there, but come on out. Reserve your tickets right now. It's absolutely free. circalasvegas.com/LeBatard.
So do we want to broaden our constituency and our base by promoting this? Is come out and see the Dan Le Batard show with Stugotz and the Clan?
I could see when you were revving up that this was going to be a bad joke.
Why can't we get Wayne Newton to sing Danke Shane with Wu-Tang?
No, because that might be for Greg Cody.
You get okay.
Without revealing too much.
Well, now I feel like I'm starting to encroach.
There's going to be some live entertainment. Even though there's content that needs to go out, we're going to entertain you during what are pseudo breaks over there. And sometimes what's going on during our breaks is going to be more fun than what's happening on the stage.
Dan is treading perilously close, mentioning Danke Shane and the Clan to he who shall not be named, as Carl Weathers had dubbed him.
He was talking about Michael Jordan there, I thought. The mustache
100%.
of Michael Jordan. You mentioned Caitlin Clark and the lines for Caitlin Clark. I want to put up for the people on video here. This was at Maryland. This is not an Iowa basketball game. I was wondering where I would place her right now in terms of marketing, star power, economy, of being able to fill arenas wherever it is she goes, where in sports I would go to put her on a list of most marketable brands right now. She is going to be making more money in college than she can make in the pros on NIL. And I'm just floored by the star power. Every time she shows up someplace, the lines are like that. The lines are like when Steph Curry and the Warriors are showing up someplace.
Well, two things are happening in the NIL conversation. There's like an empirical, like there's a question as to who in the pros will pay the way that Iowa boosters are paying, and that's a conversation maybe we should have also. But this is one of those stories where what she's doing is cool no matter what gender is the sport that we're talking about.
Nobody mentioned gender until you did right now.
Well, because you have to, because despite that fact, and it's awesome, like she is compulsively watchable. To me, Caitlin Clark's on television, top 5, I want to stop and watch that.
Well, she shoots from, she comes out in that game and she's shooting from 40 feet.
And it's badass. It's not just that, she's doing it with an arrogance that does remind me of Steph, but it's also impossible to extract from that or to isolate in that the idea that because she is a woman, there is this extra novelty that people just want to see. Like it's a circus act. Like we've never seen something like this before. And I think those two things are happening simultaneously.
It's a circus act and it's also / pioneering, right? Because what you're seeing there is it's not just that greatness is bringing them to the arena. It's that women's sports don't often get to feel like that. Like she's leading a charge, right? I understand that the WNBA and college basketball have been growing, but now you mix the fervor around college basketball with her fame, her stardom, and her style of play. And what you end up getting is a spectacle. It's not merely a sporting event anymore. There's a sporting kind of fame, but then there's a spectacle of I have to be in attendance to witness this. It feels a bit like Messi's going to play in Miami or LeBron's going to play this weekend in New York. I have to go and be a part of something that is beyond sports. It's bigger than sports.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen a needle mover quite like her. And Angel Reese, I think you can lump her in too, because if you see the television ratings, it would suggest she's also quite the needle mover in the history of women's basketball in this country, both pro and amateur. I don't think we've ever seen needle movers like that.
I mean, with Caitlin Clark, what's so spectacular, she's sort of capitalizing off what you just mentioned, Dan, which is the last couple of decades of the growth of this sport, where we've seen that from a team perspective. First, it was UConn and their dominance. Now the last 5 to 10 years and all of these other powers of teams that we've looked at, while there's been individual players, but now with both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and their sort of polarizing rivalry that we get to create on the marketing side. What I'm fascinated to see too is, you mentioned her getting paid in NIL. That marketing can and will still exist when she gets to the pro level, because now with the way that the WNBA has grown and the story building that exists around that league, seeing both her and Angel Reese get to that pro level and get to create maybe their own sort of version of a Magic and Bird rivalry is going to be fascinating for years to come as well.
Oh, but let me tell you the coolest part for me, because this part I couldn't have imagined at any point in my career before now. Men's college basketball doesn't have that.
No.
It doesn't. They're one and done. They're Duke had it a couple of years ago when Zion was on that
It is
team.
getting a little bit better now in the men's game.
Fine, but it's not
People
that.
stick around.
It's not that. It's not somebody who's been there. It's not someone who's been there for several years to build something around the fervor that is college sports.
Character development.
Forget about character development. Give me the one and done name in college basketball right now.
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
No, it's a bad draft.
Yeah, people that
really
are
bad
prospects
draft
that are in that late first round range, they end up coming back. But we've never seen, even in the men's game, someone with these kind of pro prospects willingly come back to the collegiate sport and grow that game. It hasn't been. Like, when's the last time a pro basketball did that? Tim Duncan?
Joakim Noah.
Very true.
I mean, that's a long time ago.
I know. Well, the math is different.
Starting is everything when it comes to fitness. Peloton helps you start no matter what level you're at. Wherever you're starting, there's thousands of classes to get you moving. Whether that's beginners or advanced rides, feel-good live DJ rides, or artist-themed rides, they've got something for you. Peloton bike instructors keep you motivated from day one. They'll show you the basics, help take the guesswork out of your workout, and encourage you to build from there. And now with Peloton Entertainment, you can keep moving and watch your favorite TV shows and live sports as you ride. Perfect for those days when you don't want to miss a thing. And if you don't have a bike, take a dance class, take a core class, take Pilates, take a stretching class, start a program with Andy, do a core program with Emma. You can do it all at Peloton. You can get a Peloton row, and you're not even going to get wet because it's inside your own house without water. How'd they do it? I don't know. Wherever you're starting, get moving with a Peloton bike or Bike Plus rental at onepeloton.com/bike rentals. Terms apply.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by 1-800-Flowers.com. DraftKings official flowers for Valentine's.
Psst. Bill, it's Tom. Listen up. Listen, Belichick, let me whisper in your ear. Tell you something that you might like to hear. You had a nice career, but the end looking sad. Mind if I tell you about this plan I had? My home's been gaining on me way too fast. Surely as a coach that you should get past. I can play at least another year or two. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm calling up Woody and we're going to the Jets. Twice a year we could beat the Patriots. We're kicking both Salah and Aaron to the curb. I'm calling up Gronk and we're flipping up the bird. Never really wanted Greg Olsen's spot. Wanted him to know how much cash I got. You needed me, Bill. I'll always be the boss. After we're done, you can coach lacrosse. You better listen up. You better listen up to recap. We're gonna partner up. We're gonna partner up. Hey, Bill, you better listen up. You better listen up to recap. We're gonna partner up. We're gonna partner up. Like bam, 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 bam.
Roy and Mike Ryan came in here today with a little extra spring in their step. I don't know if Amin and Pablo have been at this so long that their allegiances and their fandoms are not affected by news that comes out. But Sam Reinhart and the idea that the Florida Panthers can now afford him when you guys thought he was gone. You guys thought the first month of this season that he was playing too well to be affordable. The idea that you guys now feel like he's going to be a part of this team, I saw palpable positivity and happiness on Roy that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yes, chef.
Well, you say it's not like something magically happened where all of a sudden the Florida Panthers have more money. They're kind of capped. It's in that. It's certainly below $10 million. Certainly below what Sam Reinhart would get in the open market. Presently, Sam Reinhart sits at 37 goals. That is second to Austin Matthews in the entire NHL. He sits at 40. Sam Reinhart has 20 power play goals. That's more than a lot of teams have. Sam Reinhart has turned himself into a player that gets, $11 million in that neighborhood. But I've spoken to sources at the Florida Panthers, and Sam Reinhart's quotes have been promising about we want to make a deal happen because he's had this whole career resurgence down here in Florida. Again, he came into the league as a highly touted prospect, didn't quite live up to that, and made some great key contributions during his time here in Florida. But now he's just totally blasted off into the stratosphere in playing on that line next to Barkov, and he has this insane output. The Panthers are encouraged with some of the dialogue that they had in being able to. Here's a Panthers pitch, and it's not unlike something that Pat Riley's done in the past. You operate here in the state of Florida. Some of the other people that are going to be in on you have insane state tax. Look, Canada. Incredible amounts of your wages are going to be
It's the greatest
kept.
advantage the Miami Heat have.
Yes.
No state income tax.
Yes, and you also, for the first time in this franchise's existence, you can sell, hey, we're really close. We're building something special. There is a younger nucleus here. You have Matthew Tkachuk locked in for a very long time over here. If you want to win the cup, and that is every hockey player's dream, this is the best place to do it, and we can fit you inside this number. Sam Reinhart gave some very encouraging quotes to all the press that descended, including Roy, into Toronto for the NHL All-Star Game, and it seems as though both parties are in agreement. Let's wait till this offseason so we can maximize that dollar, but the pool isn't going to get any smaller for Sam Reinhart. I'm encouraged, and it seems like they're going to be bringing him back improbably.
Yeah, he takes this discount, and they could work the trade deadline to bring in a rental so they can actually go deep into the playoffs. So this is very encouraging.
Do you guys have any allegiances that you get moved by somebody taking the finances down in order to stay with your team, or is that part of you now died as sports fans because you've been working in this industry too long?
I was really excited when Apollo took the exhibition match against Drago, but then I was pretty upset with the result.
This doesn't happen often in this sport. I guess there's a fairly recent example of someone like Jonathan Marchessault who had this career. You kind of had an idea of who they were, and then they just blow up into becoming one of the highest point getters in the league. It's a fascinating thing that's happened with Sam Reinhart. You don't usually have this evolution in one's career this late in the game.
But the thing about the hometown discount also is that it actually is you talk about the big advantages that a team could have. Instilling enough affection in your employees such that they take less than what they could get otherwise. Tom Brady did this. Tim Duncan did this. And as much as we talk very aspirationally about player power, there is no question that even the most player power people have to admit that this is such an enormous thing that helps you win. I don't know of a bigger edge you can have than your best player wants to make less money.
That may well be, but I say this to every young player who's about to get paid. You don't give up the discount until after you've got that huge deal. Tom Brady could do that because I made the money, and now this is just incremental money.
For Sam Reinhart, it would be ballsy because he's 28 years old. You didn't see this type of season coming. Capitalize on this season, maximize your dollar, and be locked in on that wage, those wages for several years.
He's currently on a 3-year, roughly $20 million deal that's going to expire this offseason, right? Prior to that, his entry-level contract was 3 years, $10 million. So it's like, yeah, $30 million, that's good money. But it's like, this is your opportunity to cash the F out. And then after you've done that, now you can come back and say hometown discounts and all that.
I will say, so for the audience that doesn't know necessarily, this part matters too. Many of these players love how anonymous they get to be in the Fort Lauderdale sunshine playing games where it doesn't feel like Canada, but it feels enough like Canada on the Hollywood boardwalk where people are still walking around with sandals and socks, but it's warm. And the anonymity that they are afforded here where they can go elsewhere where they care about hockey differently and live in Fort Lauderdale, it is not a small thing.
Yeah, it's not just Canada. There are certain hockey towns. Like if Kucherov goes out to dinner in Tampa, he's going to get noticed. Mitch Marner can't go out in Toronto. Sam Reinhart can probably go weeks without being recognized in Broward. It is actually something that you could sell these players.
Yeah, him, Anthony Duclair, and Sergei Bobrovsky was on the flight coming back from Toronto, same flight as I was on. They really didn't get recognized in the airport.
By the way, which is awesome. So the whole Taylor Swift thing, I've been thinking about what is the ideal optimal level of fame?
Oh, one of my favorite conversations.
So Taylor Swift has a stalker among all of the other indicators of
Just
her
one?
fame. She has at least one stalker who keeps on like going to jail, then being let out and going to her house in New York City.
Real love.
Just won't stop. And obviously that's okay. We can all agree we don't actually want to be as famous as Taylor Swift, but it now brings us back to like the Mike Trout conversation of like, I actually think Mike Trout has it right. He matters, as Dan was saying, he matters in all of the rooms that he actually professionally cares about, but otherwise can be like eating a sandwich on a bench, smeared his face with mayonnaise, and like no one's gonna take a photo of him because it's just some guy.
The optimal level of fame is the amount of fame that gets you a reservation at a restaurant and a free drink at a bar, but never hounded by anyone while you're doing it. That's the level of fame you want to get to.
Kornheiser argues on behalf of the radio show by saying that it is the greatest power to have because it's the power to get the table at the restaurant you want and to destroy your enemies. I would argue, though, on behalf of this level of crappy fame.
Us?
The level of
It's pretty
crappy
good.
fame that
It's pretty good.
gets you a nice amount of appreciation that makes you feel somewhat relevant, and also one of the great benefits I will say of fame is that I can simply text my doctors. That I don't have to. I could go straight to them,
Provided that you give them like a little back and forth on Tua.
Oh man,
That's right.
Of course,
Yes, of course.
You got to give them a little.
That's the
something.
cost of admission.
So they can go into the workroom and be like, yeah, I was texting with Levitor the other day. He says, trust in Tua, but don't pay him.
Mike, I'm telling you, that's the cost of admission. It's like when I go to Vegas and I go and there's like a security guy who's like, sees me. Guess what? That guy gets 15 minutes of show. Whatever you want to talk about, I'll give him a bit everything.
Finger guns?
I'll do
Finger
the whole
guns and
thing.
jazz hands, baby.
Now, if you're just some guy walking through the casino, it's like, hey, how's it going? And then you get one question. You get one question.
I bet you Tony's great at that.
I always give time to people that recognize me because, again, I am the shittier of the shittier people in here as far as celebrity is concerned. So
I thought you just meant generally.
Well, sure, but
put it on the poll, Juju. Is Tony the shittiest of the shittier people?
Thank you. But whenever I get recognized or somebody comes up to me, I'll give them 5 or 10 minutes of my time.
No, too many minutes. Too many minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, you're higher on the or lower on the totem pole depending on how you think of it. But you're whatever on the totem pole more than I am. So for me, it's like this person took their time to say, "Hey, Tony, I love you on the show, man. You represent us." For me, that's one of the highest compliments that I can receive.
I have a move now. I will immediately ask for their name.
Oh, no,
I will file it away. End of the conversation. I say their name back.
At the end.
That's
and
so
we are
insincere.
bonded for life.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
pro
move.
move.
It's fake. Like,
What?
he's just telling you it's a move.
Just gave away the
No.
secret.
He's telling
It's
you
a
it's
pro
a move.
move.
He's
No.
doing that for everybody.
No, it's respect. It's hey, what's your name?
Thank
Thank you so much,
He
Brandon.
just-
I'll see you later,
No,
bud. Thank you.
It is respect if he never admits it. Now it's something he gives everybody. He is a respect whore.
Whoa.
It's insincere respect.
Put that on the poll. Can you be a respect
he
whore?
gives
I just
it
think
to-
that's being respectful.
You can't, but you're giving it to everybody. It's not special. It's not monogamous. It's everybody.
That's the point of
That's
respect.
You're giving it to everybody. It doesn't make them feel special that you're knowing their name because it's your move. It's a pickup line. It's a pickup line. It's I wish I could change the alphabet so I could put the U and I together. No, it's a line.
Ooh, this guy's used that before.
It's a move. Get out of here. What is that? You don't admit that. You admit that whispered in private.
How much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to make the ice break. How's it going? Amino Hassan. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Still a student of mystery. The floss before or after you brush line. It's killer. Me and my friends need a debate settled.
It's a towel one.
Thank you, mystery.
That's the last time you washed your towel.
Thank you, mystery.
I was more of a Toro guy.
That has not been said
Matador.
in a long
Matador.
time.
Sorry. Racially profiled Matador.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.